How algorithms rewire your daily decisions. Every choice you make online leaves a trail. That video you watched for 30 seconds before skipping? Recorded. The post you scrolled past without engaging? Noted. Even the milliseconds you hesitate before clicking tell artificial intelligence something about who you are. And with millions of these microscopic data points, machine learning systems build a psychological profile so accurate they can manipulate your next move before you consciously decide to make it. This isn't conspiracy theory, it's documented reality. Research from MIT's Media Lab revealed that AI-powered recommendation engines can predict user behavior with up to 93% accuracy after analyzing just a few weeks of interaction patterns. 93%. That means the algorithm knows what you'll do next better than you do. Here's what most people miss. You're not using these platforms. They're using you. Every feature, every interface element, every notification timing has been or be tested on millions of users to maximize one metric above all others: engagement time. Not your happiness, not your productivity, not your growth, just time spent on platform. Think about your morning routine. How many people check their phone before their feet hit the floor? That's not an accident of habit. That's the result of notification systems engineered to create urgency where none exists. The dopamine hit from checking messages first thing rewires your brain to crave that pattern. After enough repetitions, it becomes automatic. You're not choosing to check anymore. You're responding to conditioning. The scary part? These systems learn faster than you do. While you're trying to build willpower through conscious effort, AI is analyzing billions of behavioral patterns to discover exactly which sequence of content keeps people hooked longest. It's not a fair fight. You're bringing individual discipline to a war against industrial-scale behavioral engineering. Procrastination isn't your personal failure. It's a predictable outcome when you're surrounded by systems optimized to offer instant gratification at the exact moment you're about to do something challenging. That important task requires sustained focus with no immediate reward. Meanwhile, your phone offers an endless buffet of dopamine hits available instantly. The choice seems obvious to your primitive brain: take the easy pleasure now. Delay the hard work indefinitely. And here's the cruel irony. The more you try to resist consciously, the more data you generate about what makes you cave. Eventually, the algorithm learns from your resistance patterns. It discovers precisely how long you can hold out and what type of content breaks your willpower when served at that exact moment. You're not weak, you're outmatched. There's a fundamental difference. Weakness implies personal failure. Being outmatched means you're competing against something designed specifically to defeat human resistance, something built by teams of PhDs who understand behavioral psychology better than you understand yourself. Every minute you spend in algorithmic environments trains the system to control you better tomorrow. It's adaptive exploitation. And unless you understand the mechanics, you'll keep losing the same battle every single day while wondering why your self-control suddenly disappeared. If this resonates, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment with one word: aware. What if your brain never gets a break anymore? Your attention span isn't shrinking because you're lazy. It's shrinking because you're training it to expect constant stimulation. Every time you grab your phone during a moment of stillness, every time you open a tab because the current task feels boring, you're teaching your brain that discomfort should be avoided immediately. And AI-powered platforms have become incredibly efficient at eliminating even the briefest moments of mental downtime. Here's the mechanism most people don't understand. Your brain has two fundamentally different modes of operation. There's the focus state, where you engage directly with tasks, and there's the default mode, where your mind wanders, makes connections, and processes experiences. Both are essential, but modern digital environments have essentially eliminated the second one. When was the last time you were truly bored? Not uncomfortable, not frustrated, just bored with nothing to immediately grab your attention? For most people, that moment doesn't exist anymore. The instant boredom appears, the phone comes out. And what fills that space? Algorithm-curated content designed specifically to be more interesting than whatever you were doing before. A study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that constant task switching and digital interruptions reduce cognitive capacity by an average of 40%. Even after the distraction ends, your brain doesn't instantly recover when you return to the original task. The residue of that last video, that last post, stays active in your working memory, degrading your ability to think deeply about anything else. But artificial intelligence makes this exponentially worse, because it doesn't just interrupt randomly. It interrupts strategically. Machine learning models analyze when your engagement starts dropping and serve you a notification or recommendation at that precise moment. Not too early, when you're still focused. Not too late, when you've already moved on. Exactly when your attention is most vulnerable to capture. This creates a vicious cycle. The more fragmented your attention becomes, the less capable you are of sustaining focus on difficult tasks. And the less you can focus on difficult tasks, the more appealing those easy digital distractions become. You're literally losing the cognitive capacity to do hard things while simultaneously becoming more dependent on easy things. Think about activities that used to hold your attention for hours. Reading books, working on complex projects, having long conversations without checking your phone. Do those feel harder now than they used to? That's not aging. That's atrophy. Your attention is a muscle, and you've been training it to quit the moment things get challenging. Meanwhile, everything meaningful in life exists on the other side of sustained effort. Deep relationships require long, uninterrupted conversations. Mastery requires thousands of hours of focused practice. Creative breakthroughs happen during extended periods of concentrated thinking. None of this is compatible with an attention span trained to expect novelty every 30 seconds. The platforms know this. They know that the longer they keep you in shallow engagement mode, the less capable you become of the deep work that might actually pull you away permanently. It's not just about stealing your time today. It's about degrading your capacity to use time. Well, tomorrow, every scroll, every autoplay, every notification you respond to is a vote for the type of brain you're building. And right now, most people are voting for a brain that can't handle anything that doesn't provide instant feedback. Is that really the cognitive profile you want 5 years from now? Like this video if you're recognizing the pattern, and subscribe for more. Comment. Fragmented. How to reclaim control from systems built to control you. Knowledge without implementation is just entertainment. You can understand every mechanism of algorithmic manipulation and still lose to it every single day if you don't build actual barriers. So let's talk about practical warfare against systems designed to exploit your psychology. First move. Turn your phone grayscale right now, not later. Now, go into accessibility settings and remove all color from your display. This sounds trivial until you understand why it works. Tech companies spend millions on color psychology because vibrant colors trigger emotional responses that keep you engaged. Red notifications create urgency. Blue interfaces signal trust. Colorful content feels more rewarding. Strip the color away, and suddenly everything becomes significantly less appealing. Your brain gets bored faster, which means you naturally spend less time mindlessly scrolling. Second move. Implement app limits with teeth. Not the soft suggestions that let you ignore them with one tap. Use screen time or digital well-being to set hard daily limits on social media apps. 30 minutes total across all platforms. When you hit that limit, the apps lock completely. No, just one more minute option. Research from the University of Pennsylvania demonstrated that participants who limited social media use to 30 minutes per day showed significant reductions in loneliness and depression after just 3 weeks. The platforms aren't making you happy, they're making you dependent. Third move. Delete every app that uses infinite scroll. If it doesn't have a natural endpoint, it's designed for addiction, not utility. News feeds, social media, short-form video platforms, all of them use the same psychological exploit that casinos use in slot machines. Variable reward schedules create compulsive behavior. You keep going because you never know when the next piece of content will be amazing. Eliminate the mechanism entirely, and you eliminate the compulsion. Fourth move. Create physical separation during focus blocks. Put your phone in another room when you need to concentrate. Not face down on the desk. Not in a drawer. In a completely different space that requires deliberate effort to access. Even having your phone nearby reduces cognitive capacity, according to research from the University of Texas. Your brain allocates attention to monitor the phone's presence, even when you're not actively using it. Distance eliminates that drain. Fifth move, replace digital defaults with analog alternatives. Morning alarm? Use an actual alarm clock, not your phone. Reading before bed? Physical books, not screens. Note-taking? Pen and paper instead of apps. Every time you swap a digital tool for an analog one, you remove an access point that algorithms use to capture your attention. Fewer access points mean fewer opportunities for distraction. But here's the critical mistake people make. Trying to implement everything simultaneously. That overwhelms your capacity for behavior change and guarantees failure within days. Pick one intervention, just one. Make it automatic for 2 full weeks before adding another. Sustainable change isn't about intensity. It's about consistency compounding over time. And understand this. The discomfort you feel when implementing these barriers isn't weakness. It's withdrawal. Your brain has been getting dopamine hits on demand for years. When you restrict that supply, you experience legitimate neurological stress. Push through it anyway. The discomfort is temporary. The freedom is permanent. You also need to schedule specific times for intentional content consumption, not random moments throughout the day. Whenever you feel an urge, designated windows where you consciously choose to engage. This transforms passive scrolling into active decision-making. And once you start choosing consciously, you realize how much of your previous usage was pure automation. The goal isn't to become a digital monk. It's to ensure that technology serves your objectives instead of substituting for them. Every barrier you create is a checkpoint where your prefrontal cortex gets to ask, is this actually what I want to be doing right now? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. Hit like if these strategies make sense and subscribe for more content like this. Comment with one word, barriers. Why your attention determines your future. Let's end with the truth nobody wants to hear. Your life 5 years from now will be the direct result of what commanded your attention today. Not your intentions, not your goals, your actual attention. And if algorithms are controlling where that attention goes, they're controlling your future more than you are. Think about someone who achieved something you admire, someone who built expertise, created something meaningful, transformed their circumstances completely. Now calculate the hours of focused attention required to accomplish that. Thousands, tens of thousands. And here's what those people definitely didn't do during those hours. They didn't surrender their attention to systems engineered to waste it. The math is brutal, but simple. If you spend 3 hours daily on algorithmically driven content, that's over 1,000 hours per year. In 5 years, that's 5,000 hours you could have invested in literally anything else. 5,000 hours is enough to achieve fluency in multiple languages, master complex skills, build substantial side businesses, or develop deep expertise in fields that fascinate you. Instead, most people will trade those hours for forgettable content that provides temporary amusement and permanent regret. And artificial intelligence is only getting better at capturing attention. The algorithms are learning faster, the recommendation systems are becoming more sophisticated, the behavioral models are growing more accurate. If you don't establish boundaries now, the problem compounds. In 5 years, you'll look back and realize you spent the most cognitively capable years of your life being an audience for other people's creations while your own potential stayed dormant. But there's another timeline available, one where you wake up without immediately checking notifications, where you work on challenging projects for hours without interruption, where you end each day knowing exactly where your attention went and why it mattered. This isn't fantasy. It's what happens automatically once you stop outsourcing your decisions to algorithms. Freedom isn't having unlimited access to everything. Freedom is choosing deliberately what deserves your mental energy. And that choice must be active, never passive. Because the default path, the route of least resistance, will always be the infinite scroll, the autoplay cue, the next notification lighting up your screen. Every moment you choose focused attention over passive consumption is a vote for the life you want to build. These votes accumulate. They create momentum. They transform possibility into reality, but only if you actually cast them instead of letting algorithms vote on your behalf. Here's your choice right now. You can close this video and return to the automatic flow, where the next few hours vanish without you noticing. Or you can implement one single action from this video today and begin reclaiming your autonomy. One action, one day at a time, until control of your attention returns to where it always belonged with you. The algorithm will keep trying to pull you back every single day, but now you understand how it operates. You've seen the architecture behind the curtain, and knowledge without action is just another form of procrastination. So what's it going to be? More of the same or the beginning of something different? Your attention is the most valuable resource you'll ever own. Technology companies know this. That's why they spend billions trying to capture it. The question is whether you know it too, whether you value it enough to protect it, whether you're willing to fight for it daily, because nobody else will fight that battle for you. Not your friends, not your family, definitely not the platforms profiting from your distraction. This is your responsibility, your attention, your future, your choice. If this content made a difference, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And comment which action you're implementing first. Let me know. Sovereign. Disclaimer: this content is for educational and informational purposes. The strategies presented are suggestions based on research about digital behavior and do not replace professional mental health guidance. When needed, use your own judgment when implementing changes to your habits.